So we're gonna go live. Hey, Carlos, we're gonna go live right now on YouTube.
Okay, in about 2 minutes, right?
Yes, in 2 minutes.
Okay. Wait, I'm sending. You know that today is Autism World Day, and my 16-year-old son, he has autism, so he did a wonderful video, and now in his Instagram account, and he's saying blue, the word blue, in the 10 languages most spoken in the world nowadays. And he says at the end, you know what his motto is? My autism is my superpower. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just turning on. I'm leaving my studio. I got to go back to my desk to record the rest of it. But hi there. We have. Hold on. Who we have in this space with? Oh, there we go. Let me bring him up right to speak.
I will have to go out and come back because I was doing something here, but it didn't work. I will change to the Android. I'm coming back.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Oh, good to hear.
Let me know who. Let me make you a co-host, so this way you can bring up whoever you want to bring up.
All right, thank you.
Because there was people asking questions, and I was kind of like, why don't you just ask questions? That's why we're doing a space for. I was like, why don't you come show up? So we'll have some people show up and ask questions.
Absolutely. Yeah, hello, lovely people.
Hello.
Hi, I'm gonna record this space onto Headliner also. Right now we're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
Oh, good.
And let me see. Yeah, so this way, and then I'm gonna write a blog about it. So this way you'll have content.
Nice.
So give me 2 seconds while we're waiting for my co-host to come back. How was your Saturday?
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good. We are a little bit tired, but it's okay. Everything is all right. It's going well. How was your day?
It was good. I was making content, finishing up my website. We're building a website for our NFTs for a cause so that we can feature the artists, but also have content to show their work and everything. So I'm trying to finish that. And then I was streaming some music because I'm like, I have this mixing board that makes the music sound so good on Twitter Spaces. So all my friends are obsessed. So every day I'm making like a 60-minute album for my friends to listen to. They just don't want to download the app. So I just make 60 minutes and then I send it to them. So that's my day.
Yeah, good.
But you gotta use Twitter Spaces and listening to music and creating, what you want. Here he is. Here is Carlos. Invite to speak. Okay, Carlos. I invited you to speak.
Okay, I'm here. Hi, Ohaval.
Welcome back. Hello.
Yep. Glad to meet you here. Hello to Metactivists too. Yilmers, One, Alp, Ask, Urkan, Aruk, Richard, thank you for being here so early. Welcome.
Welcome, everyone.
So, okay, we are live and I'm running the analytics and we're recording and live streaming in several platforms. So before we start, who would like to go first? I'd love to know more about yourself personally. When did you discover NFTs? Why did you get into it? And I'd love to hear more about your, because, usually when you hear about when giving back, what you're giving back is building, like we just did a space with an NFT musician who is donating some of her proceeds to plant trees. So I know we have some listeners in here who are very curious about your project to get 10,000 people to join your Discord, and then you're gonna plant some trees. So yeah, that's exciting. That's a huge endeavor, by the way.
Exactly. Yes, I volunteer on this space, by the way, talking about NFTs and how I got into the business. Actually, I love the community, not the business part. If you would allow me, of course.
Yes, please. The mic is yours.
Thank you. I'm Justin, by the way, with the account of Activists. I'm actually the community manager. And how I got it was quite fun. A friend of mine he's flipping NFTs, and he's actually done this as a title. He's titling himself as NFT flipper. And he was like, "Hey, I'm buying some JPEGs, and he's doing this exciting voice when he speaks. And then he's like, "Hey, come on, you should check this." And I'm like, "Okay, let's buy some JPEGs. I love the idea. I mean, let's see, but what is the idea behind JPEGs? It's not just images. And that's how I joined. And then my friend Ohabal, the co-host now, he's actually my old friend. We've been friends for like 15 years now. It's been crazy. And they told me about Activists. And that's how we started the project as well. We decided we need to help. We need to raise some voice. And how can we do that? With the power of NFTs and the power of communities, we can actually reach activists. And this is actually how I started with NFTs.
That's a wonderful starting. I mean, it's a different approach. And what's the most important thing, for example, for a person who, because activism is becoming every time is growing, has a way of life, has a way of seeing life. So what's the most important ingredient as a human being, in your opinion, that a good activist, a very useful activist should have?
Well, I would actually like to sum the thing, how this started. And I think this will answer the question as well. So the idea actually came with us, I mean, the whole world, migrating into Web 3.0, which we actually don't know what Web 3.0 is. It's not determined yet. And metaverses, of course. But while transforming our lives, and with the pandemic, we all saw that it is possible because we did our meetings, we did our friendships, we watched movies together online in our homes. And while we're migrating, we don't want to forget the current world problems.
Yeah, exactly. Very important.
Because if you watched Wall-E, the animation series, we're actually turning into humans from there. Maybe you remember those fat guys, you remember, walking mobile in mobile devices. We're turning into them, and I even have a belly, which I was going to the gym every day. And we don't want to forget the problems, so we started the Activists. But the most important part with the project and with the community is that we do not judge people or whatever they protest, and everyone is welcome. So if people would go to our Discord server, we have different categories like human rights, and if you check the human rights, you will see women's rights, disabled rights, animal rights, LGBTQ+, peace, and everything that comes to your mind. Like we have an earth category with health, fitness, education, everything.
That's incredible. You know that's the kind of organization that we need here in Twitter Spaces, because there is so many things going on Twitter Spaces, but we don't have actually a system, a list, just like when you're going to look for a space or something, is worse than the front page of Netflix, you know. So I congratulate you for having this position to organize the content you have available. That's a great job.
Thank you. It actually means a lot hearing those words. And we're a huge team, by the way, 15, 16 people working on the project.
Wow. What has made you happy the most until now, since you started?
Since we started, well, I guess this space was the best one so far.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because the things were hectic. I mean, we've been working the past almost 6 months, day and night, and everything was hectic. We don't even know what I can speak about, like working day and night, having meetings all the time. And I guess this was the quite fun part until now, because I'm actually having fun while speaking with you guys.
Okay, yeah, I know, and you know this is very important. My strong point is a stand-up comedy. I have a stand-up comedy students, and I tell them that the most important thing is the tone of voice. Your tone of voice expresses a lot more than your actual content, that the actual words that you're using, and that applies to stand-up comedy. And the most magical and the biggest, the most wonderful thing about Twitter Spaces is that it's totally different to read a quote about activism that to hear someone that you can feel their heart actually beating faster, because they are just like totally compromised. You know what I mean? So this is magic. I mean, to be able to listen to the other person is wonderful. So for activism and all these kind of humanitarian causes is very important. So I think that's what you mean, that you can be heard, really heard. It's not the same blogging that I mean, blog is useful because it documents stuff, but to be live here and then to be able of listening a recording of the things that you say here, really, really important.
Absolutely
But I mean,
amazing.
like, I'm reading your Medium blog. I'm gonna pin that up in a second. I'm looking at like your numbers, like what you're planning to produce with this project, like 500,000 different combination. I mean, like, how long does that take? That's a lot, don't you
Well,
think?
we have an absolutely crazy designer, and I mean crazy in a good way, of course. He's in the audience, by the way, Ali Ekmek. He's our designer, and he designed layers for the generative part of the collection. He designed more than 1,500 layers. We were shocked when I saw the folders. I was like, no, oh my god, don't do this, please. It's crazy. I mean, writing the rarities alone, it took more than 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but it turned out great. And as the numbers, we're planning on generating 6,789 pieces, and we want to distribute these in 2 different sections, like a first collection and the second one, because I'll have to speak about my roadmap here. So if we have any questions, I'm actually ready to answer before that.
Well, you know, I wanted just to ask you, who do you think should be the next one speaking about the project? Can you choose it? Or choose her, pardon, choose her or him?
Or them, or them.
Exactly, yeah. Sorry.
Well, I don't know. Someone who sends a purple heart. Any questions? I can see Joselis, I can see Melisma, Alpaskuka. Any questions, guys?
Okay, we have Janaro. I can.
Well,
We have to
I
give the.
want to kind of like, let's reset for a second. I also want to know more about what are you guys giving back as far as the trees and getting 10,000 people to sign up on your Discord. That's a huge, very optimistic quest. I mean, that's a lot of work right there. How far have you guys gotten?
It is actually. Well, about the trees, planting trees, I actually want to take a point on that. We have, when you come to our Discord and we have the room where you verify yourself that you're not a bot, we actually
Sorry.
Sorry
It
about
was my
that.
fault here. I moved something here. Sorry.
It is totally fine.
Yeah.
So as I was saying, we have where you join our Discord and you verify yourself as not a bot. There we have a little box where there is the reaction of a tree, and if you click that, we will be planting tree for each people who click on that. So
Oh,
we're not
okay.
aiming like, if 10,000 people joins, we're planting a tree. No, we're planting a tree for everyone.
Oh, wow. That sounds strong and good.
Well,
I'm gonna rob 30 seconds to tell you this. I am in Venezuela, in South America, and like 40 years ago, they started planting pine trees very, very close to the seaside. It just like in a very giant beach. It was something that sounded like crazy, but the botanists and the specialists, the botanical gardens and specialists, they had some strong reasons, because this kind of pine tree created some special conditions in the production of oxygen, in the protection of the sea animals and stuff. And now, 40, I'm 60 years old. I was like 20 years old when the project started. So that little forest has, well, it's not so little now, has more than 1 million trees. And can you tell, now they are saving the ecosystems in so many fronts, in just like in the ground, in the terra firme, in the sea, in the oxygen, it's just like a blessing. I mean, that zone of Venezuela will be in a real disaster position if not were for these three. So this is very important. And I was very young when they started planting that. I said, just like, oh my goodness, they are. And now 40 years went like this. Okay, now this forest is 40 years old, and it's one of the most important in the planet. And it was artificially created. I mean, human created. Okay, so that's what I give you, that reinforcement of enthusiasm. I mean, the time passed by very, very quick. So it's very, very important you still do this. I mean, that you keep doing this to the end.
Yeah, trees is like something you leave behind. So what organization are you working with that planted trees? Is it the same one that the meaning she was doing? I think it's trees.org.
we are not yet. We will be starting this after our minting, because we want to plant big number of trees. We don't want to do them separately. So we're not yet in touch with them. We're just waiting to finish this month, April, because it's super busy with minting process, with the generation and everything. So that we'll be announcing in our Discord and Twitter as well. And by the way, on planting trees, it's absolutely amazing. I know that forest. I saw it online. I've never been there personally. I hope I will one day. And I have a story like that. When I was a kid, I grew up in Romania, Southern Europe, and we planted a tree. We planted a tree with a family member. I mean, it was nothing big, just starting the seeds. And I'm 30 years old now. When I went to Romania last year, it was like 25 years, like passed like a bullet in front of my eyes, and the tree was huge. It was an amazing experience. And imagine planting 5,000, 10,000 trees like this. It could save a whole lot of area.
I do love a Japanese proverb that says, the best moment to plant a tree was 10, 20 years ago. The second best moment is today. I love that. Okay, you couldn't do it 20 years ago. Let's do it today. It will be very useful anyway.
Exactly. Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey Charlie, my friend Charlie is here. So so when do you guys meet? It's like, do you guys meet? Do you have a meeting every week? I mean, when your mint has started already. So What does that entail? I mean, do you host a lot of spaces? Are you on Discord a lot of time?
We are mostly on Discord and tweeting a lot. Well, our minting hasn't started. It's on 22nd April this month. And we'll be announcing more stuff on that as well. And we're having team meetings and community meetings on Discord. We're every day on Discord, obviously. And everyone can reach us. We're a really open team for all the questions and suggestions.
Okay, good
So,
to know.
So what's your opening price, your mint price?
Our mint price. So, if you would allow me, I would actually like to speak about my roadmap and then combine
Yeah,
it to
that's
our mint price. Yeah?
perfect. Yeah, that'd be better.
Yeah. Okay. So, we have a collection, as like I said, 6,789 pieces. But which of those 789 pieces, we will open them for minting on 22nd of April this month. And the price will be 0.07. 0.05, I'm sorry, apologies on that. 0.05, and it's gonna be minted by activist listed people only. We called our whitelist activist list spots because we didn't actually like how whitelist sounds. And the first collection is called the Metaactivist Reform, and Reform is coming with our collection to the NFT space. And 789 pieces united together to make a world a better place with their signs. As you can see in our chat, we have some of our members, they have their signs. And some of those messages, they're protesting something, or they're mocking something, or they're just there to have fun and support us. Like we have signs saying anime is not a cartoon. And we have signs which say, don't do racism, say no to racism, help autism, everything. We will have 9 pieces, special drawings. Those are all handmade, not generated, created by our designer. And after we finish the minting on 22nd with the price of 0.05 Ethereum, we have a roadmap starting. We will not going to wait for the second collection of 6,000 pieces, but within a week, we're going to neutralize all the energy we spent. We're going to get a carbon neutral badge and we'll put it on our website. And on the end of this first week, we will start helping the world as well. We have allocated 15% of the mintings. I know this might sound a little less, but our roadmap is very long and we want to start right away. 15% we have allocated to a charity wallet, and our community, as a DAO, they will choose 3 NGOs that we should donate to them. This will happen in the first week after minting. So before the April ends, those 2 are happening. And then within a month, our activist teachings will begin. And by activist teachings, I mean we'll be collaborating with institutions, and those institutions are community chosen institutions. And we will be organizing seminars to educate the whole community on the internet on subjects by experts. And again, within a month, we'll be distributing some activist kits. Those kits are for our dear first activists. And inside the kit, there will be hoodies, t-shirts with our logos, keychains, 3D lamps. And amongst the Metaactivist holders, we'll distribute them. And we don't actually have numbers, but it will be more than 20, 30 people. And then in May and in June, in 2 months after minting, we'll be meeting with the activists worldwide. We'll go to Izmir, to South Korea, to China, Berlin, Amsterdam, New York, and everywhere. We're meeting with them, with our community. And in the late summer, this is important, this part, in the late summer, we're going to launch an activist store. And within the activist store, we'll be selling hoodies, t-shirts, magnets, can openers, stickers, and our activist kits. By which of those we sell, and all the money we collect, they'll go to charities. We're not touching anything in them. And also, one more important update on an activist desk, which is actually our dream. We'll be creating an activist desk. This is basically a desk where people all around the world can apply and ask for donations, and we will have a vote with our holders as a DAO, and we will decide where the charities and the donations will go.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Yes, and one last step. We have one more step. This is the last one, I promise. I mean, we have a huge steps as a surprise, but this is the last one I'm going to talk about today. In June, we're planning in June, we will release our second collection of Metaactivists. The supply will be 6,000 pieces. And then we will be collaborating with a Metaverse project and start the first ever Metaverse Activism protest.
Okay, wow. Yeah, did you say 6,000?
Yes, 6,000. I mean, the first collection is 789 and the second one 6,000.
Okay, okay. And who are the artists are actually working in the graphics side, in the graphic part?
His Ali Ekmek is in the audience, is listening. He's our designer.
Okay. What's the name again?
Ali Ekmek. He's got
Okay.
the purplish avatar with the activist.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, I saw. Aruk, okay, I saw. Okay. It will be interesting to hear him, to hear later about the graphic part, because that becomes always a very important part of every NFT project. You know, that people relate visually a lot with the NFTs. So very good job and very good intentions. Regarding the stores, obviously they will be online. But are you planning to have at any location at least one physical store, or everything will be online?
Well, so far everything looks to be online, but I guess this will depend on the community reaction. If they want a physical store, absolutely, why not?
Exactly. According to the feedback, is perfect. Okay. And is there any special selection? There are some preferred trees. I mean, are some trees better than others in the sense of helping the environment, or you can plant, for example, according to the zone. If you are planting here in Venezuela, we have several species which are locally useful and according to our zone, or how do you handle that?
I mean, I personally don't have this information because I don't know which tree grows where in which geography, you know. But of course, we'll do our research, and the companies or the communities that we speak with them, they will allow us to do the greatest part.
Because they will know the trees, obviously, of the part of the area or zone where they are living in.
So we have it's 5:26. Did you want to let anyone that want to grab the mic come ask? Because I know we had a lot of questions we have 4 questions that people wanted to ask. So I want to make sure we have enough time for them. Does anybody want to ask some questions? Go ahead and grab the mic. You're welcome to. But, I love your project in a sense because activism has been, because of social media, I feel a lot more people got involved in becoming activists and anything that they believe in or what they stand for. And over time, even from the election to all the different things that people are involved in. So I love the fact that you're bringing this to the metaverse where, so each person can mint their own activist and then go and then. Can you talk to us a little bit about that, the process of that?
Yes, we were speaking and planning with our developers on this. We will be collaborating with a Metaverse project, and people minting our NFTs, Metaactivists, with their signs, they will be able to have some sort of a map where we go together, have a march together, walk, and meet each other in the Metaverse with our signs. And this would be I don't want to say identity, but everyone's signs will protest something, and people like-minded will be able to form their own communities as well, little communities. So you will see someone holding a sign which says "Stop Racism," and they can go together in the metaverse and then have a chat and meet each other and do some collabs together.
Wow, good. That sounds really good. It's the next level. It's the next level. We're heading over there.
Well, it looks like it exactly. I mean, you guys know better than I. Everything is started to be online.
Yeah, exactly. And it's becoming just like very effective. I mean, a lot of this this evolution is producing better results than before, because especially there are many areas where the intermediates are disappearing. I mean, so things are becoming more direct, and in that sense, that's good, because you have less hassle, less paperwork and stuff. So seems with even specifically the concept of blockchain is just a wonder. I mean, it's something clear. I mean, it's open to everyone. I mean, that's gonna change the world in the next 2 decades, whether you like it
Yes,
or not. Because
that's true. I believe so.
it's a totally different point of view about how handling communitarian issues with transparency, more honesty. I mean, no doubt. I mean, no shadows. It's wonderful. So just we have to give time to grow to this new concept. And the old people like me, because I'm 60, we just need to adapt and to
60 is
accept
not
this.
old, by the way. I'm sorry, but that's not old.
60 is
Oh,
the new
you
20.
Yes.
you know, I in my stand-up I have a say, I am 60 years old, but thank God I feel like 95. People they will love with that, because it's like I'm going to say something like 40 or 20, but no, but I mean, you see so many people starting so young. I mean, at things in every level of these new technologies. But I mean, starting at 14, 15 years old. So of course, you feel old if you are 60. I mean, I can be still aware and still doing hostings and aware of these things, but you feel the difference. So it's very important that you consider. My son, my only son, has autism. He's 16 years old, and he did today. I am very proud as a father. He decided to do, because blue is the official color of the autism celebration. In his Instagram account, Gael Cecilia, he did the list of the 10 countries. He said blue in the 10 languages more used in the world right now. So he appears saying blue in 10 different languages, and at the end he says, "My autism is my superpower." I cried a lot. I am a very proud father today.
That is brilliant. That's amazing.
Yeah, and he decided. I mean, just like, oh, why don't we say blue in the different languages? So he's there. You can see him in the. I will. Oh, already put. Maybe I can put him up. In the, because I put him on Twitter. So let me see if I can find that Twitter and get
Yeah,
it up.
pin him.
Yes,
Pin him at
please.
the
We would like
mess.
to see.
Yeah.
But when you think about activism and to bring that into Web3, it's really when you talk to your in real life friend, your IRL people, what are their thoughts about that? That to create a community of activists, but in Metaverse.
Well, the feedback we got is quite fun, because being in the metaverse currently is just like playing a game, and it's actually fun. And meeting your friends online, but instead of just seeing their avatars like you do now, you will actually be able to walk with them. And it's online in everyone's house. So the feedback we got on this, it was quite positive.
Okay. Yeah, totally, absolutely. And the feeling, the game feeling is really funny, because it looks like it's actually playing. The fun sensation is obligatory. It's mandatory. I mean, it's not like what I mean. It's not Excel table. You know what I mean? I hate Excel, by the way. I cannot do it. No, I am not good friends with mathematics and numbers. So I love the metaverse because of that, because metaverse looks like a giant playground. And you can do so many things. It's just like an infinite playground.
Yes, I love it as well. Oh, by the way, I live in Turkey as an expat. Here, there is a big organization. It's called Tohum Autism, and Tohum translates to seed, and the organization is called Seed Autism. And today we had a collab. In case you guys didn't see it, we had a collab with this huge organization, and we designed an avatar for them as well. And this avatar, it will be
wow.
in our collection. We implemented it in the collection. It will for sure. It's not generated. It's going to be in the collection for sure. And all the money raised from the selling of the NFT, the minting, and the secondary royalty sales, all of the money of that particular NFT is going to the organization.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I already put it up on the nest. You have it in the is the last one?
Oh, you did?
You
Okay,
said,
I'm like going, boop, boop, let me pin.
yeah. Hey, see, girl, Cecilia at Instagram. He said, my autism, it's my superpower.
Yeah, I see that. And then I also pinned up the Meta Activist NFTs. This is the one that they just talked about for World Autism Day. That's
Yes,
really
that
cool. I
one.
like that.
Thank you.
I love that. Meta Activist adds an activist who wants to raise awareness about autism to its collection and donates it all its income to the education of children with autism. Wow, I love that.
And autism is such a wonder. I mean, it's such a blessing. At first, when you receive the diagnostic and stuff, and you get just like, okay, it's difficult. But then you start to see the magic. I mean, he learned English by himself. For example, I mean, he's blocked in some areas of learning, but in other areas, he's such a genius. I mean, it's almost the case with every autistic child. And by the way, there are no autistic child or children. They have autism because it's a condition, not an illness. So the proper way to express, if I can explain you as a father of an autistic, a child with autism, sorry, the proper way is to say that the kid is a kid with autism. It's not an autistic, just like you say, blind, or it's because it's not a definitive condition. It's something that you can really handle, and you can separate yourself and me. I mean, you can feel the growing in many areas, and it's getting better and better. And they are like so funny and incredibly funny because they are like geniuses, and they have so many unexpected reactions, and it's slowing. But it's there. Of course, there are different degrees. Some very difficult cases which is just like a strong thing. In my case, we were fortunate with he's like moderate autist. He's not in the Asperger side, but in the other side of the spectrum. But has been a wonderful 15 years.
I would love to see you know what, Carlos? I would love to see a project in NFT that the artwork were made from autistic, depending who's hosting the project. But I love to see that.
My son is actually is preparing a lot of drawings. He loves Angry Birds.
Well, we need to make that into an NFT project. And that's incredible.
He wants to make an NFT project he draws Angry Birds on his style, but you still can see they are Angry Birds, and he changes his expressions, and he don't like them to be angry. So he wants to make this collection and call them Happy Birds instead of Angry Birds. So he draws them. You can identify them as Angry Birds, but they are smiling. It's wonderful.
But today, though, like for example, Meta Activist NFT's project. I mean, I see each piece can be like 3D printed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a small doll, a small action figure or something. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I think that's a big thing nowadays. People are like, I just have noticed that 3D printing is such a huge conversation as far as when you think of NFT. People are printing up things that they created first as an NFT, and then even some people I've seen, they purchased the NFT and they started printing up some pieces for themselves just to see what it looks like. So I think the sky's
Yeah,
the limit depending on the holder. So
and
let me go ahead, and I think there were some questions I wanted to ask. So that were brought up that I thought that maybe we should ask you, and then since let's see, I responded. So oh my goodness, I was
maybe
laughing.
Gilmas 101, because it says here, a co-creator of Meta Activists NFT. Maybe we can, this person has something for us, but I will try to give the mic to him.
Yes,
or
he's
her.
one of our creators, and would actually love to hear him tonight here. I mean, I
Okay,
hear him every day, but here is different.
okay. I have been trying to send the mic to him, but and I have been invited, but it seems he doesn't receive it. Maybe if you try to do it, or Ohabal, who is co-host, also can do it.
Well,
Or you,
like I found a question. So by Aruk Digital Act 6904, it says, "What are the challenges of digital activism?"
Oh, the challenges! It's quite many actually, and
Do you
I
want to
could
give us like a
say
few?
yeah,
You want to tell us
absolutely,
a
yeah.
few?
I will. I was just, it's a great question that shocked me. So, well, the first one was actually the word activism. When people hear it, it's scary. I mean, if you're not into activism, if you're not protesting something, if you haven't before, I mean, it's scary. And
yeah,
that was the first one, because people are scared. If I do some activism, I mean, is it vandalism? Someone asked me. I mean, it's not vandalism, of course.
exactly.
we're
Yeah,
we're not we're not trying to host a revolution or something. We're just protesting as a human right and as a governmental right as well. This was the first one we got, and the second part was building the community, the activist community, because we're not like the other project. I don't want to put dirt on other projects. I love NFTs. What I mean is like invite contests. People just grind for whitelist spots. We try and keep everything organic and activist.
well, let me tell you briefly, and briefly, really briefly, because I'm going to time myself for a minute. I work helping a very important American organization called Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization. This organization is already like 17 years old. The president is Linda Reinstein. And they are working hard because asbestos, okay, is totally carcinogenic. I mean, it produces cancer, and it produces the worst kind of pulmonary, of lung cancer that exists, or pulmonary cancer, called mesothelioma. And the mesothelioma only can be in the body if you were exposed, to asbestos. And you are going to be surprised with this. The United States is still the only industrialized nation in the Western hemisphere that is where asbestos are still legal. So we do activism a lot. We're moving a lot. We did help to stop asbestos in Colombia and in Brazil. But our activism is basically conferences. Linda Reinstein go to the Congress and explain to the Congress members what were the dangers of the actual asbestos problem. They may do meetings with the EPA agency, Environmental Protection Agency. There is no throwing rocks or breaking the Starbucks coffee. You know what I did identify perfectly with your previous comment, because we are strongly doing activism against asbestos, and it's totally civilized. I mean, it's like just giving away the information needed so people can get. For example, in Mexico has a great asbestos problem. 85% of the drinking water in Mexico goes through pipes made of asbestos. So they are poisoning their actual people living in Mexico City, and they are not actually started to do anything about it. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing that had to be done. Fight against this.
Well, that's really
because
important. I mean, that's very, very important. Like also, I mean, really think of, like, there's activism for almost everything that you really think about. Like, for example,
yeah,
legalization of medical marijuana, or marijuana legalization in the United States has been a huge amount of activism going on, and people knocking on doors and telling, like, I'm telling you, it's interesting how so many different activism has been started since, like, I got into social media back in 2007, like really early 2007, and I watched all these people as the years go by. I noticed like more people are showing support for different things, because we have the ability to create our own niche within our own community because of social media. So your project representing different activists, but within the metaverse, I think that's really, really cool, and also raising awareness and also giving back.
exactly.
Those are the kind of things that is so key, because I feel like if you're gonna get into NFT, you're gonna do something, give back. See, even my dogs believe that too. So
I'm backing you up.
Yeah. Well, I can totally relate on the asbestos, because the community management that I do here, it's really new to me. I'm relatively new, because it's new to the world. It's the NFTs and space. But my main job, what I was doing for the past a lot of years, I designed jewelry. And in the jewelry business, everyone heard this term, I'm sure, the blood diamonds. And that,
Mhm.
it's crazy. I mean, we tried fighting against it. I mean, all of the companies that I worked with never accepted any types of diamonds on the lab ground. And trying to raise some awareness and the little acts of activism, it was crazy. I mean, people believed that if they protested this, they would get behind the bars. I mean,
Mhm.
I can't understand sometimes. I mean, the fear, to break someone's fear, that's the craziest part. That's the hardest part. But if we can do it with a little spark of meta activists, I mean, we will have the world.
Yeah, I think that we have to calm down as a human beings, and how travelers in this spaceship called Earth, because there is a reality in every area of life. There are good people and bad people. Medical, scientific, stand-up comedians, doctors, whatever. I mean, so the main thing is to focus in the big majority doing good. Is, because sometimes some people, it's just like you are backing a baseball team, and if your baseball team loses one game, it doesn't have to become the worst team in the world because it lost one game. So I think the world is sometimes so exaggerate in the reactions. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, wait, okay, maybe there are reasons, or some people have been acting badly inside an activism group, but that doesn't mean that a whole amount of people inside that activist group is doing the same. I mean, even the activism group, they have self-disciplinary actions, just like to control that or to avoid that. But I think that it's totally relative. I mean, humankind is not perfect in any area, so there always will be weeds in the gardens. Okay, you cannot have a perfect garden, never. You always will
I
have
would
to be
join
aware
as
of
an
the weeds.
activist for like free lunch for all kids across the world. That's an activism. I think that should be a project that people should pick up, because providing free food for kids while they're growing up. And also, I was poor growing up, and I hated standing in line to say, I get a free lunch. So I would hate it, and the kids would laugh, because I think they were laughing at me, but I wasn't sure, but I was embarrassed. But what if you took away all that? Like, no one pays for lunch, and no matter where you live, what school you're at, there's a free lunch provided for you. I would jump on that program as an activist, because I think that's the kind of stuff that you're giving and helping the future. And also, if a child is giving lunch without worrying about rich or poor or anything like that, he's more focused on his education than he is to be like all concerned about someone's judging him. And I know I'm speaking to that as a child, as a poor child myself. So that's the kind of stuff I would jump on. I would be an activist for that.
Yeah, totally relate. We have a sign on this, by the way. It will be generated.
I love that. And I know a lot of people that we did a whole space about that, where the fact that living in America, that the fact that there's such a thing about cutting program for lunch for kids, it's like, what the heck? What country are we in now?
Let me tell you, last week was on Tuesday was the International Water Day. And I do a section here in a radio station here in Venezuela where I do just like, believe it or not, little snippets, like 2 minutes of curiosity. And I got this horrible fact. You know how many kids die daily because they don't have access to drinking water? 4,500 kids. That's the official number. 4,500 kids die daily because they don't have access to drinking water, to the clean drinking water. Isn't it horrible? And you see, it's like
it's not horrible. It's horrific. It's horrific.
Horrific.
We're at the 21st century with all the technologies. Not like we're going to another planet. We're in the same planet. We should be able to provide that. And so that's why I love a lot of the projects that I get the opportunity to meet and hear their stories, because that with through the project, understanding the usage and being on the blockchain, so you can actually see full transparency in that sense without having to like worry about, because I spend a lot of time donating, raising funds, but sometimes in the back of my mind I'm kind of like, it'd be kind of cool if we can able to see everything, like everything that they're doing. But with NFT, I feel like it's going to help a lot of nonprofit get their information out there, what their activism is, what they are. They're to save the strays, the dogs, the cats. I mean, anything goes these days, in the sense that you're giving back to a social project. So I love the fact that your whole project is about giving back. So that's fantastic. So like, what other projects that are you doing now? Like you have one for autism, right? That you created. World Autism Day. But tell us another project. Are you doing any other project that you're giving back also?
We are in touch with most of them, but the thing is, I don't want to spoil, because these are upcoming announcements. And what I would ask as a favor, following us on Twitter and joining our Discord, because those are upcoming announcements, and I don't want to spoil them for everyone.
Just tell it. Just tell it. No, just kidding.
No, it's my biggest secret now. I can't.
It's just so funny.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Carlos and I, we have too much fun here sometimes. You guys should know that by now.
Yeah.
Yes,
really.
it's lovely. I love the hype. I love being here.
So the next time that I see you again, when will be the next time that you want to come back and give us an update on your project? Do you have a timeline on that? Because I want you to come back, because I want to know more, and I want to know about the trees, and I want to know about any of the projects, activism that you are co-branding with, creating some, media or buzz with, because really your project makes sense. And if you connect yourself with other projects, I think it's a win-win situation, don't you think?
Well, we would love to be here again, but having some steps and some busy times, I guess maybe we can speak again in 2 weeks. What do you say?
If I have to be next month, because the whole month we have like a bunch of different projects coming up. One of them is Will from Thailand. He has a whole dogs NFTs that he's raising awareness about. So we're gonna have him on. I'm actually publishing a press release for him. He's so cute. He is such an incredible kid. I can't get over him. So we're gonna have him up. I think it's next week, and then I think Charlie's coming up. But I think maybe in like next month, we can definitely have you guys come back, and by that time you should have an update on what's going on, and and then I will have this also.
Cool, yeah.
And don't forget, this is going to be on YouTube. We'll have this written up on the blog. I made an event ticket out of this, so it's already like I don't know. I call it the timestamp of an event on the internet. As long as I know it happened because I have it. I created the link for it. So, but thank you for being here. But did you want to give us some final thoughts?
Some final thoughts, as I had so much fun here, and I could say that everyone that is in this space now here, they can join our Discord, and I personally am giving whitelist pass to them as a courtesy for your being a kind host. And I'm glad we met. I'm glad our paths have aligned. Tonya, Carlos, it's a pleasure. It's quite an honor meeting you two.
Oh, thank you very much for your words. Well, actually, I really do love to do this because this is like a new dimension for my work, because I started first as a writer for 11 years for a program in Venezuela, like Saturday Night Live. Then I was hosting my own show when I was 28 years old, in the style of Letterman. And I have been in radio many times and stuff. And for me, this is radio. I mean, everybody call this is like Twitter Spaces, Clubhouse, but come on, this is radio with some extra thingies and extra goodies that we didn't have 30 years ago. But basically, it's the same. I mean, just like radio doing with more interaction, possibilities, connection. It's just like a graphic radio, because I am posting my own sound. I wasn't able to do that in radio 30 years ago. So it's just, we're doing the same, but we have to be learning of the old style. I think, for example, I said, we have to set up, just like to say, okay, this is a 1 hour space, 1 hour and a half space, a 2 hour space. I mean, what's wrong with telling you in advance that you have a set up time or a set up day of the week? Or on the other hand, you can also say, okay, this is an open-end space. Oh, okay, maybe, because I have friends in South Africa like Sueyu Moleme and Joe Human. They held spaces that run for 12 hours talking things. Sometimes it's politics, sometimes it's more like the stuff. But can you believe? I mean, I think Sueyu Moleme had the record for a space that lasted 16 hours in a row. And the subject was people just like shooting their shots at the other person, just like in a weekend, listening to music and whatever. I mean, that's too long. I mean, I don't have 16 hours to keep stuck to that thing. So I think, for example, you know what I did love? Twitter did change this week something. They put 2 different words for following people. If you see that it says follow, it means that person is not following you. But if he's already, or that person is already following you, it says follow back. So when you see follow back, you know, oh, yeah, it's just like, oh, they are already following me. So it's faster, you know, it's easier. It's such a slight change, but I love about Twitter Spaces is they are going slowly but steadily, being better and better and better every day. And that's important.
Yes, true that.
Twitter Spaces is incredible. And if you need a DJ, I'm working on to become a DJ because of Twitter Spaces. I can spin some badass music NFT, man. I've been playing with the playback.
Justin, we couldn't get Justin to spoil their next things, but I will spoil your secret, Justin. Tonya is in just like 100 spaces a week or 40 spaces a day. Nobody knows how she can be doing that. But I discovered 2 secrets about Tonya. First, okay, your day has 24 hours. Rivers.
Oh my God, he tells this joke every single time we do a space.
Yes.
I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
Listen to this. Your day has 24 hours. My son has 24 hours. My son's day. My day has 24 hours. You know, Tonya's day they have 36 hours. That's the secret. So that she can do a lot more. But then I discovered a second secret. She's triplets. She has 2 siblings. look exactly like her.
I wish.
Okay, so she has these two help. I mean, she is practically everywhere, and you don't know how she does it. I discovered the truth. She's triplets, and she have a 36 days hours.
I
You are
believe
killing
she
me.
might have trip. If I see you, Tonya, in another space, I'll ask you, which Tonya are you? So let's have a secret code that we can
Tonya,
meet each other.
Exactly. Tonya number 1, number 2, number 3. Yeah. Yeah. And wait for her dog to learn to impersonate her, because she's stalking all day long. Maybe that little doggy could surprise us too one day, and she will have 3 helpers instead of 2. That would be wonderful for her.
Don't give them any ideas, okay?
That's good. Thank you for coming, Justin. This was just wonderful. I mean, I love your project.
Yes, it was.
Really. And it was really great. Thanks to Rivers to be here all the time, just like all the other people here. I won't name them all, but fastly will be Hood, Debs, Richard, Olham, Huyar, Furkan, Juba, Nistaka, Joselis, Hugur Kamal, Has, Angel, Mercy, Rivers, and of course, Ohabal. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm gonna close out the set with Rivers music, by the way, from Audience. I've been playing. I'm obsessed with his music. I'm sorry. I'm like a big fan. I'm like a super big fan. So I'm gonna play his
Tonya
music.
wants to be a DJ. Tonya wants
I
to
enjoy
be a
it.
DJ.